Have a seat, please. Today I want to talk about how you can be the manager of your life, the manager for your career. Oftentimes people go through life not knowing where they're going. They have no plan at all for their career or for the next 3 to 4 or 5 years. So going through life and hoping for the best is not really a strategy. The key is you gotta have a strategy for where you're going, because if you don't know where you're going, then any road will take you there. Have a strategy and then work that strategy. In other words, we gotta start with you being the manager of your life. So management is basically about 4 different areas. That would be planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. So the key to being a successful manager is to plan where you want to go, the destination of where you want to be. And number 2 would be to organize the resources for it. And number 3 would be to take the initiative by leading the process. In other words, be the best leader. And number 4 would be to control the process, to make sure you get there efficiently. So we want to be effective by determining where we're going, and we want to be efficient by controlling the process. So join me in this journey where we talk about being the manager of your life. Change is not always easy for any of us. However, just because change is not easy does not mean we cannot do it, and it does not mean that it cannot be done. So it's just a matter of obviously putting the right amount of resources, the right timing into it, and enough motivation to make sure it gets done. We stay persistent with it. See, a lot of times people say, I will be so happy if I change my job. I don't like working with this company. I don't like working in this department. But see, the reality is that if that job becomes too easy, the individual will be unhappy as well. So, and also if you change that individual to another department, another company, the individual might be unhappy just as well. So the secret to happiness on your job is not to change your job or your company, but sometimes it is to change your perspective, change your paradigm about how you see things and the opportunities that are available. So every now and then we need a checkup from the neck up in order to make sure we have the right attitude for achieving our goals in our departments, in our companies, and obviously in our industries. You see, the poorest person in this world is not the one who has no money, but the poorest person in this world is the person with a bad attitude and an individual who has no dreams in terms of what to do, where to go, and how to act in order to achieve those dreams. So have a plan, have a dream. Important step in being the manager of your life is to plan properly. When it comes to planning, the first and foremost important thing is to realize that you are the driver of your life. If you do not drive, the car will not go anywhere. So you have to understand that you are in control. And obviously after that, you got to decide which goals do I want to pursue, how much resources do I want to devote to it, and obviously how do I get this done in the right amount of time. So that is the essence of planning. The most important obviously is that you decide that you are in control of your life and you have the freedom to bring about positive changes in order for you to get to where you want to go in the next 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. You see, the sad part is, as adults, we usually become satisfied with the status quo because making a change is too uncomfortable. So we get stuck where we are. You see, children are very creative. Children laugh, they cry. 1 minute they're doing this, the next minute they're doing something else. As working adults, we need to think like children in order to be creative. You see, 95% of 5-year-olds are said to be very, very creative. However, by the time we reach age 44, only 5% of us are said to be creative. So from children, we can learn about crying, about laughter, about confidence, about acceptance, about trust, about being in the moment, and obviously going through life despite the difficulties. You fall, you get back up, and you keep moving forward. That is the essence of creativity. There was a 5-year-old girl drawing something, and her dad asked her, "What are you drawing?" She said, "I'm drawing God." The father said, "But nobody's seen God." She said, "They will when I'm finished with my drawing." So the 5-year-old girl was not going to allow outside barriers to tell her that she could not do something. She had a perception of God, and she was going to obviously bring that into real world, into a drawing. So that's the kind of confidence we all need as working adults in order to achieve our goals by proper planning, organizing, taking a leadership, and obviously control. One of the things we need to consider is that you are in charge of your future. We're not stuck in the jobs that we have. You see, if I don't like my job, I should be able to change it at any time I want. And when you determine that you have the freedom to choose, then obviously you can organize your resources around the activities that you would like to do in order to reach your destination. So that's the essence of knowing that you have the freedom to choose at any time to change your future. Sometimes we become stuck in what we're doing and think that we don't have a way to make changes in our lives. I was at a conference in Kabul, Afghanistan. I met this housekeeper who used to serve tea and bread and fruit and do some cooking and do some cleaning, but his job was basically to take care of, obviously, all the guests who were staying there after the conference. His name was Wahid. Now, Wahid was 29 years of age, and he noticed that I was a presenter at this conference, and he asked me how many countries I've been to. I told him that I've been to many countries around different continents, speaking on the topic of management and productivity and customer satisfaction, etc. So on day number 2 or number 3, he came to me and says, "Dr. Bahaudin, you're so lucky." I said, "Well, thank you, I am. Why am I lucky?" And Wahid says, "Well, you know how to read, and you go all over the world reading the best books and talking and writing and giving speeches." He said he would love to read and write poetry as well. So I said, "Wahid, why aren't you reading and writing poetry if that's what you want?" He says, "Well, he never went to school. He never learned to read and write. He did not have those opportunities because he was an orphan, so he had to support his younger brothers and sisters at an early age, basically working." But see, he learned how to become a very good cook. He learned how to speak several different languages within the country. He also learned to take care of, obviously, guests very, very well. But unfortunately, he never learned how to read or write. And I said, "Why don't you start reading and writing now?" He says, "Oh, I'm too old now. It's too late for me." At age 29, he has given up on changing his career. However, he says he's working hard because he doesn't want his children to be functionally illiterate like him. He wants his children to go to school, to learn to read, to write, and obviously to have a job. But nonetheless, many children are working, and they don't have the opportunities, obviously, that I've had or many of you have had in terms of going to school and becoming educated individuals. In Wahid's case, he cannot see a better future. He would rather be where he is now because it's comfortable for him. You see, Wahid did not realize that he has the freedom to choose the activities he's willing to do now, even though as a young child he did not have many choices. But as an adult, he does have a lot of choices. He can work, he can basically take 1 hour a week to go and learn to read, to learn to write, to read poetry. He does not have to necessarily go to a high school or to a college. He can get help from a friend, from a family member, from the resources around him. And obviously, if he becomes really serious, in the next 4 to 5 years, 1 hour a day, 1 hour in the evening time, he can really get a college degree. He can get, obviously, to where he can become very proficient in reading and writing and also poetry. But he cannot see beyond the immediate job that he has. Therefore, he perceives himself to be too old for bringing about positive changes in his life. And my suggestion to him was that, you see, if you start working toward your goal and you spend 1 or 2 hours a night or maybe 10 hours a week, by the time you're 34 years of age, 35 years of age, imagine how much of your goal you would have achieved. In the next 10 years, by the time you're 39 years of age, you can become a college graduate. That's the essence of obviously having a plan, having a goal, and organizing your activities and resources, taking a leadership role to bring about those changes, taking that first step in controlling the process to make sure you stay on course. I told Wahid that I used to be going to school in high school, and after that I was a dishwasher. I worked as a dishwasher in high school, so when I got home in the evening times about 9-10 p.m. I didn't really have much time to study, but I did my homework as quickly as I could. So in the morning I would be prepared. Went to school. After school I went to work again, and the pattern continued 7 days a week, basically for about 2 to 3 years of my high school years. And in college, I did the same thing. I went to college, then went to work. However, eventually I transitioned into being a full-time manager with the company, so my college activities were mainly done in the evenings and weekends. But within 12 years of graduating from high school, I was able to obviously have corporate experience in management and also get my doctorate degree in the area of management, human resource management, and postdoctorate degree in international management. But I had a goal, and I became the manager of my life to make sure all my activities were targeted toward achieving those goals. So now that we've planned, we need to organize. Step number 2 in being the manager of your life. When it comes to organizing, obviously you need to identify what resources are available to you and how to obviously make the best use of those resources. You see, when it comes to organization, you have colleagues that can help you, you have your family members that can help you, and you have the library locally to help you. So make the best use of obviously all the resources you have to organize them in such a way that they produce the best structure for you to achieve your goal. So organizing is obviously about achieving your goals through the resources. When it comes to organizing, you need to understand how to coordinate all the resources in a timely manner. In other words, determine in what timelines you will get your plan and activities achieved. So have little milestones. This way you can organize your resources around those milestones based on the plan that you have. Next function of management is leadership. Leadership basically means taking action, taking initiative to get started on the plan in the organization that you've planned for. One of the best examples of a leader obviously would be an individual like H. Wayne Huizinga, who's basically started many businesses. It doesn't matter what business you're in, the key is to decide what you want to do and then do it. And they say that the best way to get started, obviously after you've planned and organized yourself, is to simply take the initiative. And taking the first step is usually, obviously, the biggest challenge for us all. The key is to start now, because you're committed, so you begin today, not tomorrow, not next week, because someday may never come. You see, each week has 7 days. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but not someday. So someday must come now. And when you want to make a major change in your life, when you want to initiate something, do it immediately and do it flamboyantly. Think about all the great changes in your life. When you went to school, when you went to university, when you got engaged, make a big deal about it. It is the most flamboyant way of telling other people that you are committed to something. And obviously when we tell our friends, they help us. They are our resources. So if you want to do something, do it immediately and do it flamboyantly. That is the essence of effective leadership. And obviously the result may not happen right away. You see, the Chinese bamboo tree, it takes basically 4 to 5 years of hard work watering this plant, and it grows only a few inches in the first 4 to 5 years. But in its 5th and 6th year, it tends to grow about 6 feet tall in a matter of 5 to 6 weeks. So you see, the first 4 years, it doesn't grow much, but you still do the hard work every single day, watering it, obviously trying to make sure it grows. So now we talk about the control function of management. When it comes to control, obviously, we're never going to be able to travel in a straight line. Obviously, the closest way or the closest distance between you and your ideal goal is to travel in a straight path, but that never happens in real life. Just like planes, when they're going from one location to the next, they're never really on a straight path because of wind resistance, because of clouds, and because of hurricanes and snow and everything else. So the key becomes for a pilot to keep making adjustments in correcting his or her route in order to get to the destination. So we need to make little improvements every single day. This is the function of control, making little adjustments and little improvements in order to make sure we get to the right destination sooner or later. So that's basically a law of progress. Nothing ever stays in a straight path, and we need to make corrections, adjustments, and obviously stay on the right track. When it comes to making improvements, there's a statement that says that if today you're the same as yesterday, then essentially you've wasted a day. So it's important for us to become a little better every single day by reading, by writing, by talking to somebody new, by obviously having a different perspective, by seeing things from a totally different perspective. You see, Amaguk here, the statue represents wisdom in protecting knowledge. In other words, we get all this data every single day. What do we do with it? If we don't do anything with it, essentially we're wasting our time and obviously not making good use of data. So we need to learn something new every single day and obviously make good use of that knowledge by applying it. This is where the control function of management obviously becomes helpful in order for you to be a successful manager in your life and obviously in the industry as well. So when you decide what it is that you want done, obviously it requires change, it requires organizing, and it requires taking action. When you're taking action, when you're bringing about change, it's usually uncomfortable at the beginning. But if you do it for about 21 to 30 days, eventually it becomes a habit. Think about exercise. You see, when you start exercising, obviously there's going to be some pain at the beginning. Your muscles will hurt, your legs will hurt, and you'll be sore, you'll be tired. But after 21 to 30 days of doing this consecutively, I guarantee you will feel better, you will feel stronger, and obviously you will be very happy that you did it. But it requires obviously consistency, it requires persistency as well with it. So the key is to do it. The pain will be there. When you want to bring about positive changes in your life, yes, it will be painful, it will require change, but stay with it and do not give up. You will eventually achieve what you want to achieve, and that means you will be the best manager of your life. So do it. Okay, so now that we've looked at management functions, again, as a review, management is the process of planning, organizing, leading, and controlling all the activities for your life that is hopefully goal-oriented and targeted toward the destination that you want to go in order for you to become the best manager of your life. And keep in mind that if you're being the best manager for your life, you're going to be the happiest, you're going to be the most productive, you're going to be the most satisfied employee, satisfied individual in your personal life as well. You see, happy life is not necessarily about getting and accumulating and having. It's more about being the best you can be. And obviously, when possible, you want to try to help those who really need it, those who want it and ask for it, and those who appreciate your help and your level of expertise as an individual. Obviously, when it comes to personal life, you want to have a philosophy for yourself in terms of how much time to give to others and how much time to devote for your own personal and professional development. When it comes to being the manager of your life, it's not about being different. It's about being better every single day. And keep in mind that overall, you are the author of your life. Whatever you do, whatever actions you take on a daily basis, and obviously how you behave toward other individuals, and the words you say are going to be permanently a part of your life. Some actions and some words you say cannot be taken back. So think consciously about what you say and how you behave. Good luck.